So, good morning, everybody, and again, to everyone, thank you for doing the right stuff. Thank you for being a team player and being a partner in this because, again, we're all in this together. Um, but as of today, we got 2,229 positive cases of COVID-19 in Albany County, 900 people now under mandatory quarantine. If you remember, a couple weeks ago, we were getting like well under 150, I believe. We have an increase of 7 positive cases since yesterday, and out of those cases, 1 case involved a healthcare worker. One we know was a positive from today's report traveling from out of state. And then we had one had close contact to a positive case, and 4 other ones are still mapping and tracing that there's no clear situation to who they were tied into, so they're figuring that out. So just to remind everyone, again, I just want to remind everyone from that Hudson Avenue party, as we put out before, went up to 39 people. And it just shows you what happens when you meet in a big social area and don't do the right things by wearing a mask and 6 feet apart and coughing into your arms and cleaning your hands. We're still dealing with the Hudson Ave. It's slowing up, which is good, but that really spiked up our numbers. And it's what the governor has said from day one. We have said this for the last 138 days, that basically that the more that you do this and don't do the right thing, it could set us back. And that's the last thing we want to do is set back. There's 87 active cases in Albany County. 6,949 people have completed quarantine. 2,142 people tested positive for the virus and have recovered. That's an increase of 16 recoveries, so which is good. We have 4 people hospitalized, the same as yesterday. A couple days ago it was at 7, so that's all good news. Unfortunately, we still have 1 person in the ICU. Hospitalization rate of 0.17%. That have tested positive, and yesterday the rate was 0.18, so slightly down a little bit, which is all good. So for our 5-day average of 18 new positive cases each day, yesterday it was 19.4, so that's gone down, which is good. I do continue to talk about the 20 to 29-year-olds. They're the ones out there, and they're the ones out there that should be getting tested. They're the ones out there continuing to spread this. So these are things we have to work on together. And to the parents, please, you know your kids better than anyone else. You see who they're out with and what they're doing. Just make sure they're socially distancing and wearing a mask and doing the right stuff. So if you need to schedule an appointment, please, by all means, call State University at Albany by calling 1-888-364-3065. As always, the drive-through in the Seth Q Arena. And then also, please call our mobile testing site numbers that are still up and running. And the number there is 518-465-4771. That's one. Again, if you have no health care, don't worry about it. You can't pay, don't worry about it. We're paying for it. So we want to make sure that you get tested, and financial means should not come into play when it comes to your safety and health. And again, please, to the mobile testing sites that we got through downtown Albany, we need your help. We need to continue to trace this and look at the numbers. Tomorrow we do the dashboard, so Dr. Whalen and myself will go over that, the statistics that we're getting from the mobile testing site in other areas. As always, priority 1, you can call in Guilderland to make an appointment. That number is 518-867-8040. And Rite Aid online, as always, in Colony, Rite Aid site in Colony. You just need to go online to make an appointment. It's pretty simple. You can get it done that way. Again, we keep preaching about the 4 steps. I'm going to keep saying it and saying it and saying it. It's just basic. 6 feet. Wear your mask right. Clean your hands and cough into your arm. And I was out and about this weekend, and I saw people with the mask under their nose. I'm like, hey, pull it up. Even workers coming into the building. Again, it will become habit forming over time, and it should be just natural to put it on the right way. And again, we're all in this together. So one of the things we kept talking about was the complaints we were getting. That's why I got Sheriff Apple back. Everyone had a ton of questions for your sheriff and kept going on and on. So I said, who better than to come in and talk about it than you? But a large number of the complaints we've gotten were reviewed, and obviously since the law enforcement, which is Sheriff Apple's office and the governor, we have the health department that we do our inspections on certain things. So we handle certain things in-house, but huge partnership with the Sheriff's Department on this, and Sheriff Apples really handled all these complaints. The governor has spoken a lot about on how local governments need to do more of enforcement, but I assure you, we're doing the best we can with investigations, and the sheriff will talk about that, so I'm not going to get into any of that stuff because it's tough. People call, and by the time we get the information and you get there, it's not the situation going on. As we know, the SLA was out this weekend in the last couple of days and reporting on 443 charges the State Liquor Authority brought against businesses they license across New York State using the newly created task force. The last thing I've said this time and time again, and I don't want to speak for Sheriff Apple, is that the last thing we want to do, these mom and pop businesses and owners are just trying to get back on their feet. So the last thing we want to do is fine them, set them back. They're already having financial hardship. They're trying to deal with the new world, and I can assure you the last thing I want to do is go in there and close you down or fine you. We know you're trying to do the right thing, and I know it's hard, and that's why I do say I know the gentleman that owns the Bear Gardens made a tough decision not to reopen up because he felt he couldn't enforce it going forward. That's a brave decision to make, but how long can you keep your door shut? You got bills you got to pay, and eventually you got to open up. So we know the vast majority of retails are doing the responsible thing, and again, following the state guidelines and trying to do everything that they can moving forward. So, and same thing with our health department, engaging with different places and giving them information. I will say this again, this is our 20th week, and I get it. Look, it took Walmart almost 18 weeks to get it right, and they still haven't to a degree. It took the big box stores that have been open since day one that are still getting complaints. So you need help. Reach out to us. Reach out. I know that, again, I don't want to speak for the sheriff. I know he wouldn't have an issue. Our health department doesn't have an issue. If you don't understand guidance or you need help with something, we're here for you, and we want to work with the mom and pop businesses here in this county. So that's why I asked Sheriff Apple to come today to talk about the enforcement side of the house on this. And again, I want to thank the sheriff for what he's been doing, not just with this side of it. The EOC's been running, getting PPE out. Been a great partner for these last 20 weeks to his men and women in his department that have been doing a great job. Thank you. But Sheriff Apple.
Good morning. Thanks, Dan. So as of this morning, we've received roughly 575 complaints within the county. Several of them are related to restaurants and bars. Most of the others are convenience stores and big box stores. We've issued 6 cease and desist orders as of today. Which the only time that gets issued is if we have to go back. We warn, and then if we have to go back, you get the warning. We haven't had to go to anything criminal yet, but you got to remember that a lot of our complaints, some of them started out to be relatively frivolous, but we're also getting complaints and we're chasing them down, which is not a really good allocation of resources. People are calling us if they see something on Facebook that happened yesterday. And there's not much that we can do about that. And please also remember that we have a spike in crime right now, so all the officers are extremely busy. So we're trying to get to these things as quickly as possible. I had a conversation this morning, actually just before my walk over here, with one of our chiefs who heads up our EOC, and we're going to step up our visits to these establishments a little bit more. We have a lot of officers right now allocated to the city of Albany, but we're going to shift some more resources and continue. I've said from the start that if everybody would just wear the damn mask for 2 weeks and not go into states that are quarantined, or if you come back and do the actual quarantine, we can get through this thing. But people are continually traveling into states that are on the list not to travel to. And if they do, they come back, they just go back to work, whatever. I'm dealing with a local business who had an individual come back with 7 or 8 people, none of them quarantined. One of them is in the healthcare industry. One of them is a mechanic at a vehicle shop. I mean, there's not much that we can do. You've got to have some accountability. But we're going to continue to go and investigate the complaints. Again, we're dealing with a lot of our local agencies as well. We've had roughly 200 in the town of Colony, 150 in the city of Albany. They're coming in, we're getting 10 to 15 a day. And again, a lot of them unfortunately are reactionary. Like I saw a clerk at a store, we'll go to the store, we'll ask somebody to go to the store, either it's a different clerk or their mask is on properly. So I don't want you to think that we're not following up on them. We are following up on them, but it also is a little bit of personal accountability. I went into a store Saturday. The young lady had no mask at all. And it was only her and I asked her, I said, you really should have the mask on, or you're going to get your boss in trouble, or you're going to get somebody sick. And it was more of just a personal thing. And, so that's where our guys are going this morning. But, everybody just needs to have some personal accountability here. I also think that we need to look at a couple of things. My personal opinion is I've spoken to a lot of gym owners. They've invested thousands of dollars in making, preparations to get some people in there. I think that if we can try to alleviate some of the stress of people having to cluster at bars and restaurants, maybe go to the gym, do something. I don't think that's a bad thing, and I know that there's a lot of people that are suffering out there. So we will continue to investigate and follow up, and I would urge you to call us as quickly as possible, though, please.
Thanks, Craig. The some of the other things, we got an animal hospital in Colony that we got complaints on, gas station in Voorheesville. Listen, like the sheriff was saying, it's difficult. So when you have these problems going on, to send someone there, by the time they get there, it's different, right? And like I said to you, we don't want you, getting into arguments with people. Some people are just not going to wear masks. Certain people feel it's their fundamental right not to. You're better off not engaging them. Walk away. You're not going to win. Or you can just say, hey, pick up your mask over your nose, wear it properly, or you should have a mask on. That's okay. But if they give you an attitude, walk away. I just keep saying that because the last thing I want to hear or get a complaint is that someone got roughed up like we've had in the beginning because they're on edge, because it's a different world out there and people are thinking differently, and people basically were shut down for 14 weeks and stayed at home. So your temperament's differently. So please, again, be cautious when you're out there doing that stuff. Some of the bigger complaints we got is the travel basketball that's going on. Look at the teams out there. I don't want to call you out. I will say this: look at what happened to the lacrosse team up in Lake George. Come back, get tested, like the sheriff said, stay home for 14 days. Don't go around anyone. You want to go out and not play by the rules, then I'm asking you to stay home. Stay home and stay away from people and do the right thing. I know there's some parents that are upset with me by saying that, but I know there's a lot of parents that have been sending us emails on this, throwing the different leagues in, who you are, basketball, Pop Warner football, that's all high-risk stuff. It's not supposed to be started. Basketball hoops, some cities and towns elected to put them back. There's only supposed to be like one person playing at a time, socially distancing, and basketball teams are back out there, or I shouldn't say not teams, but kids playing in groups again. That's not supposed to happen. Again, how do you enforce that? It's tough. So I'm asking the parents to help us do the right thing. Again, I can say this: the sheriff in my office and Department of Health do not want to go in and find people, don't want to go in and call out cities. We got enough problems going on, right? We're in the middle of not even just a health epidemic, we're in the middle of a financial crisis. It was one of the things I was explaining to a legislator over the weekend. Yeah, we got 6 to 8 million reserves. You can't use 30 in 1 year. You can't use 40. That reserves has to last you 5 years because we've put no money into our reserves in the last 2.5 years. So by not putting money away and paying off our bills puts us in a different situation going forward. But we have to be smart. Tough decisions are going to be made going forward, and it's the same thing with this. I know people are done. Listen, I had this debate with somebody. I was at Normanside Country Club, and they which are doing a great job there, by the way. But they were, saying, hey, I'm done with this. And I go, I don't know if you watch me, don't watch me. It's not done with you. And we'll get through it if people just do the right thing, and this will be something hopefully 6 months from now we laugh about. And say, remember we had to walk around with the mask on, and no one could hug anymore, and no one could, get in 6 feet of each other. Now there's a lot of people that like it, like to be away from everyone, don't like hugs, which is great. But listen, I know we'll get back there. There'll be some type of normalcy down the road, via they get a vaccine, or if this goes away. But right now it's here. Just look around the world at how it keeps coming back. I know this is a slow drip of how we're opening up. I know people are mad at the governor. I know people are mad at us. Sheriff's right about the gyms. I've advocated for them to open up. We got to open them up. They won't be able to survive much longer being shut down. Now, unless they're going to get aid from the state or the feds, and I can tell you stimulus package 5, no one's getting any reimbursement, it looks like. We're all in trouble because the feds aren't going to bail us out. So we just got our CHIPS funding the other day. That's the first time that's been released. And a lot of programs the state run are going to cut by 20%. So money that we continue to count on into the future and not even thinking about, it's going to be cut out. So a lot of tough decisions got to be made. But I will say this, we need to get back up and running. We need to take care of the mom and pop stores. I will say I've gotten a lot of questions on this one. Why can't the box stores shut down for 14 weeks and give an opportunity for the smaller business now to make ground? Yeah, great. I think they should. Let the little businesses that have been struggling, that don't have the financial pockets like these other ones do, but we know that's never going to happen. But it was great points people were making to me. Can't argue with them because it's true. These small businesses are going to be struggling, and again, that's the fabric of our community. That's what makes up our neighborhoods. That's why people live in certain pockets in the city of Albany or Colony or the Village or Gilliland, Bethlehem, because the little stores that make up the neighborhood, that's their character. So I get it. But I want to thank Sheriff Apple for coming on board. Again, if you see a violation, you can either go online or call to make a complaint. There's the slide, and the number is 1-833-789-0470. Please go online and make a complaint. Look, we're not requiring you to be law enforcement. I know some people want to take pictures. Just don't get yourself in the situation that it turns in from a complaint into a fight over this. Because again, I'm worried about the people that don't want to comply, and you're better off not arguing with them. Walking away is the best way to resolve an issue like that. So thank you for everything that everyone's doing, but again, I want to remind everyone it's week 11, and with Albany PAL and AT&T, the Stay Safe Teen Challenge, this is week 11. So one of the theme is, what's your hobby? So one of the funny things we were talking about this, what's your hobby? Some people found hobbies who didn't have hobbies. To the adults, your craft brewing experience doesn't count. So these are for the kids. This is a challenge for the kids. So please, I don't want to hear about the craft beer that you tried to make or the wine you tried to make while you're at home. But to the kids that preoccupied their time, it'd be pretty cool to find out what new hobbies they came up with, or maybe it was scrapbooking, maybe it was sewing, maybe it was making masks, who knows. But it'd be cool, so please submit your pictures and everything, as always, hashtag at Albany County Stay Safe. By Saturday, August 1st, you'll also have a chance to win a $25 gift card, so please do that. And I also want to remind everyone about our mental health. It's available 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., 518-269-6634. Our 24-hour sexual assault hotline is always 518-447-7716. And as always, the state number and the 211. Again, I can't thank everyone for doing the right thing, and we'll get through it. And I don't mind the negative comments I get, but please, if you have an answer to a solution to what the sheriff's doing for enforcement or what we're doing, we'll take it. Every good idea is a good idea. If it's a good idea, we're not perfect. We're not going to come up with every situation that's perfect, but we can do it with your help. So please, by all means, continue with the positive messages and be part of the solution, not part of the problem.